Oyedele.
Hello, everyone. How are we all doing?
Hey, hello, you can share your screen.
Yeah, I will do just that now. Right. Just a minute. Yes, can we all see my screen?
Yep, we can see your screen, and I think that
Brilliant.
you start.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Uh, I hope we have all enjoyed the session so far. My name is Olanrewaju. I am a senior digital product owner at Code Weavers Limited in the UK. And today I will be talking about validating digital product ideas, which is a key to successful product development. In today's agenda, we will explore the following. We will look at what is idea validation. We will also look at the importance of validating product ideas, a concept called product market fit, also the role of validation in achieving product market fit. Key validation techniques, we will also look at that. And also have a look at a few validation techniques like the minimum viable product, your MVP, prototype, A/B testing, and common pitfalls to avoid. How many of us do remember the MKBHD panel app fiasco about a month ago? So if I will put a little context into that if for people that are not aware of this. So Marcus Brownlee, known professionally as MKBHD, is a very popular American YouTuber who is best known for his videos reviewing tech devices. And he does a brilliant job reviewing tech devices. I mean, I have had in the past to rely on his reviews before making certain purchases. But sometime about a month ago, he released a wallpaper app called Panels that you pay $50 for per year. And this will give you access to a bunch of wallpapers. Now, let's look at the few reviews of the Panels app. Firstly, let's start with the App Store. We can't see on the App Store that this app is clearly rated 1.6 out of a possible 5. That's quite a low rating, I'd say. I mean, 1.6 out of a possible 5. But let's take it up a notch and see people's take and opinion on the internet. Now, let's remember this is a very popular YouTuber that has got a very large audience. The first one here said, uninstalled after 60 seconds. The wallpapers are nowhere worth $50 a year. And the others in similar lights, right? Talking about how they do not see the value in that app. Now imagine you are MKBHD and you have invested countless hours and resources into a product that ultimately falls flat with such reviews all over the internet and on the App Store itself. How would you feel? That's a failed product. I mean, if I was going to, for whatever reason, decide that I want to purchase a wallpaper app and I see such reviews, it will totally discourage me from buying. I mean, if you go to the App Store and you see such a rating, and a lot of us, before making purchases, we do reviews online. before we do purchases. After the backlash, I've seen a few videos where he's now doing a lot of damage control. I mean, I've seen about 2 separate videos where he's giving explanation into why he did build the app in the first place, which I find quite interesting. I think he went around the face of, around the line of when he had been doing product reviews in the past. People have asked him, a few people have asked him, where did he get his wallpaper from? So apparently they have seen the wallpaper on his device and they have asked him where he has gotten it from. So in his brilliant mind, he thinks, why don't I build an app where I can bring a lot of wallpapers together? But we see from reviews from the App Store, even by his own admission, that app has failed. Now, to avoid such pitfalls, it's crucial to validate your digital product ideas before diving into development, before producing at a large scale. You want to validate the ideas first. Let's look at what idea validation means. What is idea validation? Idea validation is the process of testing and refining your product concept to ensure that it meets a need. Let's understand that. First off, it meets a market need. There's a need for it. Secondly, it resonates with your target audience. That's the second one. Resonate with the target audience and has the potential for success. That's the third one. The goal of any product is to deliver value and make money. An idea validation is a significant step to take before undertaking significant product development. How many of us saw the Tesla event on Thursday? That is a simple example of validation. Later on, we will have a deeper look into what validation technique was used by Tesla on Thursday. Looking back at the panels app by MKBHD, let's take that and use to answer a few of these questions on here. The first one says, is there a need for my product idea? Looking at the panels with the wallpaper app, was there actually a need for it? I mean, you could go on Google or on the internet and get countless numbers of wallpapers as much as you want. It's free, it's on there. You don't have to pay £50 a year to get access to it. You can even prompt AI tools like Midjourney to even give you wallpaper apps. I mean, I have used my phone for well over a year and I've never bothered to even change the wallpaper that came with the device itself. So is there a need for such a product idea? The second question, which is, does this idea solve an existing problem in a revolutionary way? Was there an existing problem? Now let's note that when we are thinking of product ideas, let's always approach this from a problem space to a solution space. Is that an existing problem? How can I solve that problem? You don't want to build an app and then you are looking for a problem for it to solve. You always want to go, this is the problem. My product solves that problem. Thirdly, is there a target audience that experience this problem? Who will be buying your product? Who will be buying the panel, the wallpaper app? Is there who are those that are experiencing this problem that I want to cater for? The fourth one says, is there a way to enter the market with new idea? Is that a new idea itself? And the most important one I'll say is, will people want to pay for it? Will you make profit of it? Is that a valuable product or a valuable idea? These questions can guide you to understand if there is an actual demand for your product. before you even go into validating it. If you look at these questions, they can't give you that insight into what I am looking to develop. Is there value in it, and is there a need for it? Now, let's look at the importance of validating digital product ideas. Firstly, reduces risk. You have talked to potential users. You know that what you have built or what you are looking to validate before building. So it reduces the risk of, am I solving a problem? Who is this problem for? You have that knowledge already. Secondly, it improves stakeholders' confidence. Now, for startups, this is quite useful when you are looking to raise capital. You have that very brilliant idea, and you have validated it with potential end users, and they see value in it, and they are willing to pay for it. You can always pitch that to your stakeholders and say, this is the market for this product. They are willing to pay for it because it solves this problem and it delivers this value. And overall, it improves stakeholders' confidence, ensures product market fit. Later, we will dive into product market fit as we go on. It identifies market demand. Is there a demand for this in this market before I go into production? Right. It saves time and money. You won't end up building a product that nobody wants. So it will save you time and it will also save you money. And it also enhances product quality. Now, product market fit. What is product market fit? Mark Anderson coined the term product market fit in a well-known blog post titled "The Only Thing That Matters." I find that quite an interesting blog post. And in that post, it defined product market fit to mean being in a good market with a product that can satisfy that market. This means you have built a product, not just a product now, but a product that creates significant customer value. That is, your product meets real customer needs and does so in a way that is better than the alternatives. In short, you have a profitable product. You have built a product that delivers value to a target market that have such need for that value. So let's look at the role that validation plays in achieving product market fit. And let's look at how validation ties into achieving product market fit. That is basically saying, validating that your product idea will be profitable. Let's look down on how validation ties directly to product market fit. Firstly, identifying the right problem to solve. Like I said earlier, when you are thinking of that idea, you always want to start from a problem space before going into the solution space. That is, you have identified a problem, and my idea is intended to solve that problem. And who is experiencing this problem? They will be your target audience. That's your right audience. So that's defining the audience. I have identified a problem, and this problem is experienced by people in this demography or in this region or whatever. So I have the right audience and I know the problem to solve. Compelling value proposition. What would be the value that my idea will deliver? What will be the value that my idea will deliver? Building and iterating based on real feedback. Now, you validating your idea, you will be getting actual real feedback from potential end users, from your target audience. So you are getting actual real feedback. Tracking and engagement retention. You are tracking responses from your potential end users, your audience. You are understanding how they engage with your idea, right? What are key validation techniques for us to be able to validate our product ideas? What are some very common validation techniques that can be used? Number one, your minimum viable product, your MVP. Two, prototyping. A/B testing is another one. Landing page. You can also have customer interviews, polls online, and user surveys. Let's look at a few of these validation techniques. I will start with minimum viable product, your MVP. You are not going to start off by designing a product that delivers on your full value proposition, since that will take too long and be too risky. So you always want to start with the smallest thing that you can build that delivers customer value. Now let's pay attention to that. Delivers customer value. And that will be your MVP. The concept of value is vital to the MVP strategy. Let's look at this image by Henrik Nieberg. There are two scenarios here. And in the first scenario, our first iteration is just a wheel. Our first iteration is just a wheel. And the goal of our product is to be able to move from point A to point B, right? Now, if we have a look at this, which is just a wheel, what value do we see in the wheel? It doesn't get me from point A to point B. As a wheel as a standalone anyways. It doesn't get to me, it doesn't help me solve my problem of wanting to move from point A to point B. So it delivers no value. It delivers no design, usability, or functionality. But if we look at the second scenario here, it's a skateboard. Now, I jump on the skateboard and I struggle on it, but I do move a bit, right? I do move a bit, but I struggle with balancing and all that. So in this fourth iteration, there's something to learn, which is the fact that our end user, even though they can move a bit, but they struggle with balancing on the skateboard. So we can go back and say we have learned from our first iteration. We have looked to validate this idea of a skateboard. And we have learned from it that our users, even though it moves a bit, they struggle with balancing on it. So we add a bit of steering control on it. But in the first instance here, all we got was another wheel. You know, it was just another wheel. And I'm thinking, how does two separate wheels move me from A to B? Right. But looking at the second iteration here, there's some sort of steering to give us control on this. So I jump on this. And yes, I can steer. I'm not so struggling with balancing as much as I did with this that had no steering. But when I am to climb up an hilly road, I struggle with the skateboard, even though you have control. You can't generate any momentum to climb up that hill. So you are struggling, right? And based on the feedback that we had here, we are taking that to now put pedals on this wheel, make the wheels bigger, pedals on it. So that when our users want to go up a hill, they can't pedal, they can't put in effort to climb and go up the hill by themselves. So they are moving from point A to point B, even though there's a challenge on the road, which is a hill. But with the addition of the pedal, they can still climb that, even though it takes a lot of effort. But in this first scenario, we just added a body to the wheel. You still can't move from point A to point B. It can't help us to move from point A to point B. So me as the end user, I'm really confused. What are we doing here? But in this second instance, we are delivering value. We are moving from point A to point B, and we are building on what we are learning from testing our ideas, iterating and testing, iterating and testing. Now, our end user is struggling with riding a bicycle because it takes a lot of effort to climb up a hill. So we put an engine into it. Now they can't power to get over the hill. And we see our end user happy and smiling here. And then our final iteration, we have a satisfied customer, right? When we are building our MVP, we always build a slice across instead of one layer at a time. Now, this is our MVP. This is the right way to build your MVP. You are building slices of a bit of emotional design, usability, reliability, and functionality, right? So there's a slice of every of this in our MVP. It's not a combination of all of it. Rather than air, where we are building one layer at a time, and all we can see is just a bit of functionality, and that's it. It's not reliable, it's not usable, it has no design, it has nothing, just in the example that we saw earlier. So instead of building in layers, we build slice across in building our MVPs. Now, let's look at prototype, which is another validation technique. A prototype is an early model or a mock-up of a product designed to test and validate ideas before the final version is developed. Prototypes can range from simple sketches or wireframes to interactive digital models, and they are used to gather feedback from stakeholders, potential users, and even team members. Your prototype can be low or high fidelity. It can be a clickable prototype or a functional prototype. An example of a functional prototype is a Tesla Optimus. That was the robot that was the bot that was unveiled by Tesla on Thursday. That's a functional prototype. We all saw what it could do. It had a bit of functionality in it. It had a bit of design in it. It's usable, right? That's a functional prototype. Another quite popular validation technique is A/B testing. A/B testing at its most basic is a way to compare two versions of something to figure out which performs better. You start an A/B test by deciding what it is you want to test. In this example on here, we want to test the color preference of users. And after that, we need to know how we want to evaluate the performance. In this case, let's say our metric is the conversion rate. And to run this test, what we need to do is we will show two sets of users. We will show two sets of users assigned at random when they visit the site. So two sets of users visiting the site, they will be assigned at random. So it won't be like there's a criteria for it. It's solely random. We will show them the different versions, where the only thing different is the color. As you can see in this example, the only difference we have here is this area here. Let me get my pen. Yeah, this area here and this color here. That's the only two difference that we have in these two variations. Now, we will let our users to see these different variations and track our metrics that we intend to get out of this. In this instance, this is the conversion rate. And we see that for blue, we had a 27% conversion rate. And for the other one, there's a 13% conversion rate. So that tells you all you need to know, that this is performing better than the other. So it's easy for you to validate and to test your idea. Common pitfalls to avoid when validating product ideas. Firstly, confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is a tendency to favor information that confirms one's existing beliefs or assumptions while disregarding or downplaying evidence that contradicts them. In the context of validating digital product ideas, confirmation bias can be particularly dangerous because it leads product teams to focus on positive feedback and ignore or misinterpret negative data. The second one, misinterpreting feedback. When you gather feedback from your test, regardless of the validation technique you use, when you gather feedback from your end users, how do you interpret it? Misinterpreting feedback can also be a big danger. Ignoring data-driven insight. As we saw in the earlier example, the conversion rate for one was 27% and the other one was 13%. Imagine we decide to ignore that and go for the one with 13%. Let's call it gut feeling now. And we decide to go for the one that is 13% while ignoring the data that we have gathered, right? Lessons learned from failed product launches. If you have in the past launched products that have failed, what are the lessons you learned from it? Don't ignore it. Leverage on it. That's knowledge that you have gained from past experience. Now, key takeaways. Testing ideas early prevents investing time, money, and resources into a product that may not succeed in the market. It saves us all that stress. You won't waste money, you won't waste your time, and you won't waste resources into a product that will not succeed. Just as we saw with the panel app by MKBHD. If he had validated that idea, probably you would have seen that there's nobody will pay $50 for that app, or you know. Second, successful products validation revolves around understanding your target audience problem. That's two things in one. There's a target audience and their problem, and ensuring your product provides the right solution. Thirdly, use a combination of methods: market research, customer interviews, MVPs, landing pages, and usability testing. Use a bunch of them to gather comprehensive data and insights. Here are a few resources that I find quite interesting if you are open to reading more and learning more about validating digital product ideas. The Lean Product Playbook by Dan Olson is quite a very good read. It delves into lean products, into lean product development. So it's quite a good read to pick up. Yeah. And a bunch of other resources on here. I will find a way to send this over some way if anyone is interested in reading more about how to validate product ideas. Thank you for your attention, and any questions, please? No, I can't hear you. It seems you're on mute.
Okay.
You're on mute,
Thank
yeah.
you, Olanrewaju. I
Yeah,
think that it was really interesting. So if anyone had a question, you can write it in the chat.
yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you all for your time, and yeah, to enjoy the rest of the
Thank you
conference.
too.